Hey, we're here with Steve again. Steve, you've got a project that is huge for us. I don't know if we can get it all done today.
It's going to be a big chore.
We're going to bury some downspouts. You've got 30 tons of topsoil?
We've got 60 tons.
60 tons, only double what I expected. And we have a whole bunch of grading to do before we can even spread that topsoil.
Yes.
Then we intend to seed. We intend to put straw on top of all that. So you've got some cool device.
Yep. It's going to be a big day.
Let's get started. Do you want it deeper than that, or?
I don't think so, because there'll be several more inches added on there.
I suppose there's many ways to dig a trench, but I believe this is the first time I've ever dug one like this. Steve said that he had actually put 2 to 3 feet of topsoil in this area already, so the soil I'm working in is loose. He just put it there a week or two ago. And for those of you that are already halfway through a comment telling me not to back drag with my loader, well, don't worry about it in this situation. I'm going at an idle. I don't have the bucket fully in the dump position. It'll be fine. I promise you. They hadn't had rain for probably 2 months. I'm not sure how long it was since he spread this soil out here, but these big clods are just simply not busting up. It is dry. While I say that, the tiller really is the best tool to deal with those big clods. Even when they're dry and hard, it does its best to chop them up.
It was clear early on that if we wanted to get all this done in a day, I was going to have to help out on the tractor as well. So I put the camera on the tripod and went to work with Vinny. You've got the hard part, Steve.
That's okay. Does me some good.
I'm going to till a little bit along the side of this ditch that they've dug out. Steve says he wants that to be more like what we would call a swale, just more gentle in the sides. This will probably be an adventure. You'll look like I'm going to tip over here, but I'll keep the loader low and it'll be fine. It will be fine.
Wow, this bank is hard. Tiller won't even penetrate it. And because of the angle, I'm having trouble getting the tiller low enough to actually do the job as well. So I may not be the right machine for this particular job.
That didn't do much. It is hard. This is dry, nasty clay. It's really hard. This has proven pretty tough for Johnny to tame. Okay, I think I'm ready to turn it over to you. I'll till up through here on some of this. We'll eventually have to bring some topsoil over here. Maybe I'll do that with the new 4 series. Oh, is he bringing it now? Shoot, I already lost my job. I can use the one with the cab though.
Okay, machine number 2 on this particular job. You think Christy can do better than I could? I think I needed some weight transfer to the machine here. It would have helped that.
You're doing fine, just go on.
Unfortunately, that's a unique adjustment that most tractors don't have, and so I don't think of it until afterwards. No, not the box blade. Look how easy that's going for Johnny 4. He's just ripping that right off with no issue at all. This is the second time in the last week or two where we've seen a box blade do an outstanding job on areas where my other attachments weren't doing so well. What? Yet another Johnny 4? I saw it sitting up there, so I hopped on to give it a try. Steve has traded tractors. This one with the cab is a 4044R, and Steve has decided he doesn't want a cab. This one on the right is a 4066M. It's his new tractor, well, at least temporarily. We'll discuss this a little more later in the project, but for now the local John Deere dealer has allowed him to use both of them for this big project. We've decided the rough grade's good enough down here, so I've got some topsoil. I'm going to spread that on top. You'll notice that this topsoil doesn't look nearly as dark and rich as what it does near where Christy and I live, and that's just the way it is. That's why the farmers see much lower corn and soybean yields in this area. Why did my ancestors have to stop here instead of going another 100 miles north where the good soil is? You'll notice I have the bucket pretty high here. If I were there with a 1025R, there's no way I could be holding it this high and still remain stable, especially when I back up quickly like that. But the stability is amazing on this wider 4 Series. While Christy's spreading this, I think I'll start on the rough grading on the other side.
Bees, wasps, I don't know. Man, I stirred them up.
They come out of the ground?
I think so. Man,
That's a ground hornet.
man, it hurts. I don't know how many I got. They don't look very big. Well, I might not have got stung except that I got off to pick up a brick right there where they were.
Can I run over it with my tractor with that box blade? And
You can try. Yeah, the one got in here in my neck and got hung up on my microphone. And I thought, how's my microphone biting me? And then I went, oh, that's a bee. Oh, darn.
Steve's son, Evan, is a volunteer firefighter. He ran home and got this hazmat suit.
Now they're coming over here.
yeah, they are.
So what happened with the hazmat suit?
He put it on and went over there with 2 cans and got down on his hands and knees and he saturated the ground, and
Are they still flying around, or did he get most of them?
I think he got most of them.
Except for this one.
Yeah. Battle scar.
Oh well, it's happened before. I needed to be in that cab tractor.
Yes. I may not want rid of that after all.
Hey, tell me a little bit about the whole tractor story. I mean, this looks like a John Deere dealer here. You've got a 4044R that I thought was yours, and now you've got a 4066M, and I'm all confused. What's going on?
Well, I had a 4066 and thought I wanted one with a cab. So I traded it for the 4044R. Well, I don't like a cab. I can't see out of it. It's hard to get in and out of. Can't smell the fresh air. And so I traded it off now for this 4066 back again, but I can tell I'm missing some of the features of the R.
Okay, but so there's a little more to the story. You're headed maybe for a different one yet.
In the springtime, then my 4052R will be here.
Okay,
So I'll be back to an R without a cab in the right size.
4052R without a cab.
Yep.
That's going to be the final destination.
That's what
That's pretty
that's what my
cool.
wife tells me.
You know, it's pretty impressive that the dealer's willing to work with you like this. So what you've got here is they weren't able to get the 52R, right?
No, there's such a demand, and they're just so far behind. They couldn't get that in time this year, so they made me a deal on this 4066, and the deal included then in the spring I would get the 4052R.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you know, the dealers can be creative. I think that's a good
Yes.
point. They can meet the needs of the customer.
Yeah, and then just like what we're doing here today, they allowed me, since we got the backhoe on the new one, they allowed me to keep the old one as long as I want to use and finish up around here. So they're very accommodating.
Yeah, that's really good. Is the cheeseburger here yet?
You know what? They're ready. It's time to eat.
I felt something.
You found something?
I felt something, but I don't know. Right about there somewhere.
Steve wants to connect this downspout in the lower right of the screen to an existing drain that comes out of the basement. I'm realizing that digging so aggressively with the hoe will likely break that pipe, but Steve doesn't seem to be worried about it.
I mean, I'm gonna tear it to pieces if I
That's
find
where it's really, really soft.
His point is that we have to put a T in that pipe anyway, so there's got to be some work done there.
David said it looks like it ought to be right here.
Whatever damage I do to it will be fixed when we put the T in. Makes good sense, but I'm still nervous.
I'm a little bit too close. I don't like not being able to reach the loader controls. Can you raise the loader and either drive me up? Yeah, maybe drive me up while you're there.
During this part, I was off with Vinny, so sorry, camera's on tripod.
That's good.
Oh.
Whoops.
Found it?
That looks like it. You dig straight down there.
Here?
Right. No, now towards you.
There it is.
Now, I pulled it about. Did I pull it from the house? That's what I was afraid of. I broke it. Hello, I'm Tim. How are you doing? You're Adam, and you're Adam.
Yep.
How are you guys doing today?
Real good. Yourself?
I heard you're off school. That's pretty special,
Way to
Dad.
be, isn't it?
Maybe I can dig under from this side.
I think it's just a 45. It broke right there at the joint. Yeah, there's the collar.
Yeah, but the hardest part is I pulled it over, right?
Barely. Here's the...
Oh, it's close enough we can.
Oh, I think it's real close. We just need to go down a little. You could feel that real good because you stopped. Not like me when I hit the sewer line over there. I demolished it.
Certainly nothing to brag about. Tearing up a pipe, trying to find it.
Well, you barely touched it.
While a couple of them were off getting supplies to fix the downspout, Tim decided to jump in Steve's older tractor.
It's my first time ever using a Johnny 4. Today, I believe. I don't think I've run any of the 4R series any significant amount of time. So, you know, the first question that I would ask if I were watching someone with my experience level is, which tractor does this feel closer to? Does it feel closer to the Johnny 5, the 5075E, or does it feel closer to something like a 2038R? I would say overall the hydrostatic transmission to me makes it feel more like the smaller tractors. The one area that I feel a little bit like the larger tractor is the visibility. Like Steve says, I don't have as good a visibility as the loader. Now this has a bucket level indicator, but there's no tape or anything on it, so Steve probably knows where it's level, but I don't, so you know, it's taking me some practice there. Now this has the self-leveling loader, and it curls back a little bit further than the 120R self-leveling loader that we just shown recently. I got a big load this time, I can feel it.
Young Adam came up to see what Tim was doing, so I let him run the camera.
Hi Adam, how are you doing? Now I can't hear you, but you can hear me. We'll see if I can spread it here pretty easily, and I think that's probably about the last scoop we need here. Whoops, I guess I still had some in my bucket. I think Christy can handle that. Ask Christy if she can handle that with Vinny from here.
I can easily spread the topsoil around with the Ventrac. But as you can see, it was still just pushing around the big dirt clods. I thought it might be a good idea to bring the tiller around. I asked Adam if he wanted to go get Johnny and bring it up for me. You ever run the tiller before?
I helped my dad too, but I could try.
What do you think? Is that dirt or rock?
There.
Oh, dirt. Okay.
I'm gonna get the bucket and just start punching it.
Okay. I'll work. I'll move Benny.
Okay.
Since Adam's dad is a John Deere dealer, I figured Adam has a good bit of experience on a little tractor. Plus, I was here to supervise. Push your bucket so that the cutting edge.
Yeah. Cuts through it.
Yeah. This was working. I figured it would take all day to get rid of all the dirt clods we had, so I have another plan in mind. We threw a bunch of the big clods into one spot, and that way we could use the tiller. Adam told me that he would love to have a 1025R. I was really impressed with this young man. He took instruction and he was very careful when operating the tractor. That's working great and a lot quicker. The second pass is working better, but I'm surprised the topsoil has such big clods. I ended up using this technique later in the day. I used the Ventrac to pulverize what I could and push the big clods into a windrow. Then I used the tiller, just like here, to get rid of the big clods. Almost everybody we meet wants to try out the Ventrac, so I figured Adam was no different. After giving him quite a bit of instruction and having him put on his seatbelt, I let him have his turn at the Ventrac with the power rake. His dad and the other guys are still working on that downspout. We were at Steve's for more than 10 hours that day. I had taken 3 hours worth of video, plus drone footage. So when I started editing, I realized I probably needed to split it into 2 parts. There's still a lot more work to do. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.